completely unsupervised. So this is gonna be cool, man. We'll talk about a little bit of self-discovery, identity, and all that good stuff, and we'll get to it. We'll get to it. How was your week?
Perfect. Beautiful. It was a good week. And I'm
Good
sorry, I
stuff.
didn't say good afternoon to those who are joining from this hemisphere. So good afternoon to France and Africa, and
That's
good
cool.
evening, or maybe good night to Australians.
That's cool. And for the
Yeah.
people who don't know where your hemisphere is, that's in the northern
The
hemisphere.
North Hemisphere. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm in France. I'm in Europe.
She's in Europe. She's
Yeah.
definitely in Europe.
Yeah.
Definitely in Europe, and I am in the States. So no, I'm not in Europe.
Yeah.
I'm in the States. So yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
And for
Live
me, it's
streaming
12
to Europe.
o'clock, and
Go ahead.
me, I'm 12, and it's 7 or 6 o'clock, at your place.
Nah, it's actually 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
It's called commitment and dedication.
Yeah, yes. 5 o'clock.
Commitment and dedication.
No wonder you looked like you were just waking up. That was like, man, you look like you
Absolutely.
just.
Normally, Catherine has me waking up extra early today. Well,
Yeah.
now, but extra early for me is 5:15 because we start the pod at 5 a.m. Here in the
Oh,
States. I normally get up at 5:15, start to meditate and do all my thing, my ritual before I go to the gym. But
okay.
I podcast, meditate a little bit, then I'm out the door. So yeah, good stuff, man. Real good
That's a
stuff. Real good
beautiful
stuff.
beginning
It
of the
is. It's
day.
wonderful beginning.
Yeah,
Wonderful beginning. Any day is a great day when you start your day with meditation and prayer. Yeah,
I
good
totally
stuff.
believe that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey man, I want to thank you again for last week's podcast and interviewing me and had me to talking and got me to talking about my NDE,
Mm,
both of them. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that, and had a great time sharing.
that's
Had a great
beautiful.
time. Yeah, that's cool. So let's talk about you, right? Catherine's
Yeah.
journey, lessons in life, lessons in life,
Lessons in life.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
growth. Lessons in life. So let's talk about it, right? What have you learned by yourself recently?
Recently?
Yeah, what have you learned about yourself recently?
Wow. Recently, a lot of things like I can speak in public. That's one thing.
That's good. That is growth.
Yeah, it's growth. It is.
That is part of
I,
growth.
I wouldn't have thought that I would stand in front of people, or even what we are doing here. Like I would
Hmm.
let people know about my life.
Exactly.
I remember it sends me back when I was growing up, and I don't know why, because I didn't come from places where people had cameras all the time. But I don't know. I used to tell myself I would never wish one day to appear in a camera, like, face to face,
Right.
like being the spotlight. Like I was always that person who would hide. Like I remember being in high school, and when I had this girls group, I was
Hmm.
feeling like a tiny thing. And they're these beautiful girls, and they used to tell me, come, we take photos. And they're like, no, I can't. And I would just run away from them.
Right.
And yeah, yeah,
That's good stuff, man. Real good stuff.
yeah,
Real good,
yeah.
good stuff.
It's still a bit complicated because I would like to do more videos like for the YouTube, but it's for the YouTube, for the channel and all that. But from what I have carried with me along my way, it's still something that I have to work on. But
It's gonna like to get used to the microphone and the camera because I've been doing this for over 20 years. Um,
yeah,
it's gonna take time. You gradually get into it, but you're doing well. You're doing great with that.
I
You're
believe
doing,
so. And
yeah,
then there is no
you're doing great.
competition. I can compete with anyone.
Right. There's no
Yeah,
need. There's no competition. The only
yeah,
competition is yourself. So yeah,
for
good
sure, for
stuff.
sure. Mm.
So tell me a little bit about where you grew up.
Where I grew up or
Yeah,
how I grew up.
both.
Okay. I grew up. I actually grew up in three places,
Mm-hmm.
three different places. I am waking up. My first memories, I am about 2.5 years old, about. And I'm living in a military camp because my dad was a military. Then I left that place. I can't remember exactly when, at what age I left there, but I sure could have been maybe between 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a place where my grandparents were living not far from us, but they were not as close. Okay, when people hear about Africa, they see villages. I
Right.
have never been in a village. I grew up in up country where one person lives there, the other person lives on the other side. And I lived in that place. We lived in that place for some few years. And then I
Mm-hmm.
went to my father's land. This is a big farm where we have wild animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 5 years old when I got there. Lived there till I was about 15.
Okay.
And then I left to go to the city. The city I didn't stay for a long time. And then I left the city and I came to France. So I left when I was around 21, 22.
Okay. All right.
That's
Yeah.
where I grew. Now, how did I grow up? If that could say, how was my childhood? I would say that.
Okay.
Okay. So as I say, I am about 2.5 years old. And something so striking about this age, why is it so important to me? It's because I noticed we are two in the house. I have a brother. My brother is older than me, and my sister is not yet born.
Mm-hmm.
And I already see or notice that there is a difference between the relationship I have with my mother and the relationship my brother has with my mother.
Okay.
And this takes, like, my mother is very absent towards me. She's cold.
Okay.
And I am at the age I am today, and I never found myself in my mother's arms. Never.
Wow.
And gosh, I hope I'm going to finish this without me
Okay.
crying. Um, so that reshapes a lot my life, the way I'm growing up. My
Mm-hmm.
sister comes around, and she's the baby. I wouldn't say that my mother didn't love my brother, but she had that love for my sister. She
Gotcha.
was everything. And when we left that, my father is a military, and so he is very absent. He's coming. We only used to see him, or I would say me. I used to see him very coming and going. Like we in
Mm-hmm.
a camp, he would come, and yeah, he was there. The funniest thing, when we used to know my father was there was this military box we had, and it was in a hole. And every morning we had tons of biscuits in there and baked beans. That's what they were being given in the camp. So my life, when at that age, no one is talking to me. We don't have a lot of kids around, and so my brother could go play around with a certain neighbor, and
Mm-hmm.
so me, I was mostly alone, and mostly alone. I used just to eat biscuits by myself. I was very lonely, and I grew up being very, very lonely.
So would you
And
say would you say that that's
oh,
where
sorry,
your journey to
yeah,
something else began?
my journey started when I was very little. And when we moved to another place where I said my grandparents were, there is that feeling like you're seeing other members of the family coming in,
Mm-hmm.
but there is still that difference between them and me.
Right.
Now, when I was young in the camp, I'm not seeing any punishments. Now the punishment comes when I go to this place where my grandmothers are. I have my grandmother from my father's side, and my mother's side, they live not far. So I used to get milk from my grandmother's side, milk in the evening, because as we are just like in a small city, like it's not that developed.
Right.
And every
A
time I
question
would go
for you.
there, I would go to yeah.
Let's kind of pivot for a second here.
Yeah.
Now, you said when we opened up, you said that you grew up in the way you grew up. A lot of folks, especially here in the States, when they think of Africa, they think of jungles, they think of villages and whatnot. Describe that a little bit. Describe that. Describe your scenery and whatnot.
Okay. That's what I said. Most people, when they think about Africa, they think just about villages. And I have never lived in a village, but I know, once again, Africa is a continent. Like, I'm here, I'm in Europe, but I won't say I know everything that is European. I know a little bit of France. So I'm a Kenyan and I'm living in a tribe. So in Kenya, there are about 45 tribes. So I belong to one tribe. And where I grew up, so I left the military camp, I went to where my grandparents were living, and that's still, I'm saying, it's not, my grandparents were living far.
Right.
And as we were living in like a little city where, a shopping center, I would say that, it was like a shopping center where people would come, and my mother and my uncle, my father's brother, used to make donuts in Swahili, we call that mandazi. They're not donuts the way you call them.
Mandazi?
So we are there. Mandazi, yeah. Mandazi. That is Swahili. And when we left that place, we went to the land where my father had. My father had 40-acre land.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty big.
That's big. And
it's huge.
That being big, the others are also big. Like him, he had a very big one, but the others are also big. So we didn't have neighbors. Like,
right.
What can I say? Your neighbor is a bit 1 kilometer, the closest. Like our closest neighbors were about 1 kilometer away from us.
Exactly.
And that one side, go the other side, we could go 2, 3, 4 kilometers before you meet someone.
Right. And this is for context for the audience. Let's be clear. Africa is huge. Everything that you see in the States here, everything that you see in the States here it's not so. Everything we see in the States about Africa, that's not it.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I would get out a little bit of the context. I discovered another Africa when I got to Europe. It's like when I'm seeing what I'm seeing in the TV, I'm like, wow, I never met those poor people with. I'm sorry, but okay. there are people who are like that. I know there are people who have that misery.
It needs to be said. It needs to be said.
Yeah, there are people who are really in misery, but those people, you get kids with mucus and
you've never
flies
seen that before.
Flies flying
You've
all
never
over
seen
them.
that before, yeah.
I was so shocked. I was like, how come?
Exactly. Yeah.
But there is time for that. So where I grew up, when I'm 5 years and I go to this place, we are in I would say a virgin land where people haven't cultivated, people are coming in, people are migrating in. So we have wild animals, like, you wake up and you're going to school and you have this herd of elephants that are crossing the road. You have buffaloes. We had in the farm where we were, the elephants would come to eat pumpkins and maize, the corn. And so we had to spend the night beating stuff so that we make a lot of noise for them so that they can move away.
Right.
So that is a bit.
But they weren't violent, were they? No, they weren't violent.
You get to approach them, they're going to be violent. Don't forget, they come in hand. It's not just one, it's ahead of them. So the big ones, the male will come forward But because we are many people, like that's when you see the neighborhood, like people will say like they would come to our land because as we were next to the forest, and so they're not going to go away. So people would come around and help us to make as much noise and fire so that they can move. Otherwise, they would. I remember there was a time they ate almost everything.
Wow.
Almost everything. And the problematic with the elephants is when they stomp, they move. It's like they sink the earth.
Yeah.
So when you cultivate, when you're mowing, the food can't grow. It's like a tractor moved on and they
so it's like, so it was like a herd of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now it's not one elephant, it's not one night, it's just they're coming all the time.
So they're coming for the food. They're coming to feast.
Yeah, they were coming for the food. Yeah. So to go back to my story, otherwise I'll give the elephant story.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So when we left and went to this place where I am about 5 years old, and I can see I'm being sent to my grandparents to get milk. And when I come late, I'll be beaten.
Oh, wow.
And the problem, what I found, I don't know whether a lot of African people have lived with this, is the contradiction. When I go to my grandparents, I can't tell them that I have to hurry up. I can't tell them, if they tell me like I have to do something, I have to do that. Like for us, it's like if you go to a place and an adult is telling you to do a chore or do something, you'll have to do it despite like you had something else to do. So I would go there, they would give me something to do, or they would just delay the milk. But I mean, I'm not going to tell me, hey, I need to go home. You don't quicken, you don't go far telling people you have business to do. And what was problematic is I'm being beaten by my mother, and I'm coming from her mother's house. Wow. And they could not, I don't know why. I mean, I realized my mother really hated me. A hatred. It's not just that passive, like, what can I say? It's not being distant. There is a parent being cold and distant. My mother had a hate over me. I don't know.
So it was abusive. You're in an abusive household.
Yeah.
So was she abusive to your other siblings or just you?
No, and that's why it becomes a problematic. Now, at this place, in this shopping center, we are just living a little room. We go to the land. I'm 5 years old. The land is big, and the place is big as well. And now my mother is alone with 3 kids. She's new. And I've never wanted to understand anything. Now that I am an adult, I try to put words. Maybe she was stressed out, but I remember my sister saying she went through depression. But when you go through depression, you don't choose who to beat.
Right.
So when I went from the age of 5 to my 14 years, I really lived a hell with my mother. Really being unpredictable punishments. My sister would do anything and I would be punished for it. If my brother or my sister did something and they needed to be punished, well, she not needed, but she had to punish them. She had to find a reason why she should punish me too. Like I would never not be punished and my brother and sister being punished.
Wow.
And
go
on.
So is there any type of relationship with your mother
now? She passed away 2 years ago, but we never had a relationship. To be honest with you, I am around 7 years old, and I had to kill her. Like in myself, I had to say she doesn't exist for me. Was either I was going to suicide myself, or for me to survive, I had to create in a way that she's there, but whatever harm she does to me, I don't feel it. But I remember there is this time when I am questioning why she's this to me. Like, why does it having has to happen this way? And I hear the voice. Remember, she's a human being first before being your mother. That voice, I don't know where it came from. I've never had it before. I've never had it after. But from that moment, my mother ceased being my mother. She became a human being to me. So
Okay.
whatever she was doing became like she would beat me and I'm there. And I will not cry. I'm not sure that she is hurting me.
So how long did the abuse
As
last? Like what
I
age?
said, like I am from 5 to about 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have have
So
you um have you forgiven her?
forgiving is a big word for me. I I overgrew it. Um, I would say I'm done with it. She died, and beside me growing up, I had a lot of nightmares. It's when my daughter was born that I realized that there is something I had to shed off. She's 12 now, but
Right.
before that, my mother was constantly in my mind. I had a lot of nightmares, but I got to a point where I had to let it go.
So the answer is that you haven't forgiven her.
I forgive myself for going through that, for buying whatever she bought, the way she was. But I don't think, believe me, I don't believe there is forgiveness if someone didn't ask for. Even if someone doesn't, my mother never recognized that she did something wrong. But actually,
Yeah,
sometimes she
but
was even praising herself about it. For
I
me,
get it.
it's, yeah,
Get
for
it, but
me,
this is the first time I'm gonna disagree with you on anything. When we forgive
mm,
those that have harmed us or inflicted pain on us, it's truly for us. This is the only way that you'll be able to free yourself.
I freed myself from that by accepting it and moving forward.
I get it. I totally get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I totally get that. I totally get it. But think about forgiveness. Think about forgiveness. But
Mm.
let's move along here for a second. What parts of yourself are you still trying to understand?
What parts of me I'm trying to understand? Why I came here. Because that's something that I really don't, no matter how much I like what I am doing, there is something, and I have always felt I am meant for something bigger than what I'm doing.
Mhm,
I've always wanted to be a healer, and I haven't found the way to do it the way I would wish to do it.
mhm.
Yeah.
And how long have you been a nutritionist?
Nutritionist?
Hmm.
Um, 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. That's when I did my course. I would say that's when I did my course.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there beliefs and values you've outgrown?
The beliefs and values that I have outgrown.
Yeah.
Believing that I owe life to anyone.
Hmm.
Like I was brought up in a concept where, you're a kid and so like you owe everything to your parents. And I'm not there is difference between being grateful and being like believing that my parents sacrificed their life for me.
Right.
So that's something that even today, like I have two kids and I always keep on telling myself, I am the one who brought them here. They owe me nothing. I actually owe them because I'm the one who asked to have them. I desired to have them. They weren't an accident. Now, when they are an accident, that could be something else. But
Right.
having that knowledge that I don't owe my life to anyone, and the fact that like speaking this out, speaking my childhood, my trauma, It's not bringing the dirty laundry outside, because I think a lot of people believe that. I went through sexual abuse. I went through trauma with my mother, who I knew she hated me. And I know that there are a lot of people who they silenced this. They didn't say anything. The only person I know who said something was my grandmother. She also passed away, and that is my father's mother. And I came to understand both my mother and my grandmother, they didn't have a good relationship. So that speaking out your essays, as we call the trauma, it's not cleaning your dirty laundry out there. It's talking to people so that you can be healed, because that's how healing starts. Because
Right.
I remember the first time before I couldn't hold a sentence about my mother without me just going into tears.
Right.
I remember one day speaking just part of it to someone, and I felt like that baggage had been pulled up, and it's
So do
free.
you think that you're completely healed from that past trauma with your mother?
Completely healed, maybe not completely healed, but I am way far better than where I was,
Okay.
I would say, even 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, who are you becoming?
Who am I becoming?
Yeah.
I would say I'm so focused on wanting to a spiritual growth,
Mm-hmm.
understanding that I am not just a human being moving around here, but I'm a soul with a purpose. And for now, I haven't really found that purpose, because the way things are opening for me, I feel like it's not yet, I'm not yet there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we talk about purpose, I find that sometimes purpose will find you instead of you searching for it. I believe that that's how purpose works. It'll find you. It'll happen. It'll happen. And you'll have that light bulb moment, never realizing that you were there all the time. You just
Mm-hmm.
have to tether to it.
I
So,
hope I hope so. I believe it will come, because maybe I have my own agenda. There are things that I would like so much to accomplish,
right.
and
Yeah, you ever thought that
aligned
you may
aligned
be
aligned aligned with, sorry, accomplish things aligned with my soul's desire. That's what I'm saying. There are so many things that I would like to accomplish, that are things that I told myself I'll have to do, and that's maybe 20 years,
mhm.
and I'm still waiting.
Okay? What are you most passionate about?
Nutrition. I am so I spend time on this, and nutrition, in the fact that how it can help us to change our lives, to heal our bodies, and yeah, and nutrition on itself, like the formal, the education in it, but also the food on creating. I threw up ingredients like that, and I'm just up with a recipe. And I
Okay.
would just say, I'm so sorry, because I share recipes, but I have a very hard time to take someone's recipe and follow it. But I think that's because I'm a creator. For me,
Right.
I have to change something.
Right.
It I can't tell you that I have ever read a recipe and I was like I'm following this. I would just look at the photos and it's like, that's what is there, that's what is there. Okay, I will not look for, I'm not talking about the cakes, because I don't cook cakes.
Right.
But when I see food where there is vegetables, and even if there is meat, I know from the photo how that recipe is without me needing the ingredients.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Kobe is
So
up.
would it be? Yeah, he's up. He's up now. He's up. he's learning, so he's fine. But sounds like you're living your purpose now because you do the nutrition effortless, like it's
Yeah, I
second
do
nature.
it effortlessly, but I have this, and I say, as I said before, the gift of healing.
Yeah,
That I feel so much pain when I see someone is sick and I can't do anything about it.
right.
I feel so bad. Today, this morning, I was posting, and there is this kid who appeared on my phone, and she was lying with a puffed face because of dialysis. She hadn't done dialysis for some days. I
Mm-hmm.
was there. I was crying, like, why? What am I doing on earth if I can't help this kid? Like, for me, it's just something that is there. Like, I if I could erase pain. And I know it's because I went through it, or maybe because I went through pain, and not with my disease, but when I was growing up. Because I remember having a very hard talk with God,
Mm-hmm.
asking Him how He can be true and real if kids are suffering and He's there and He can't do anything.
Did you get your
So
answer? Did you get an answer?
I haven't gotten the answer yet. I think I got it into by understanding that everything we go through, God has nothing to do with it. There is also a human journey. There is also human
Right.
experiences. And if I didn't suffer the way I suffered, maybe I wouldn't be so understanding as well, maybe so
Right.
sensitive to others. So even if it's tough, I don't believe we need to come to this world to suffer.
You know, I found that once I got on the other side of growth, I found that every single obstacle had a lesson, and I was able to move forward and on to the next phase of the journey that I'm on. So when we, in my opinion, when we find ourselves at these obstacles, there's a lesson in that.
Yeah,
Even with your
sorry.
your pain, dealing with your mother, your past pain and all that stuff, there's a lesson in that because you survived that. Your survival
But it
could
didn't have
help
to.
someone
But it
else.
didn't have to be that way.
Yeah,
It
but
didn't have to be.
it happened. So what are you going to my thing is, what are you gonna do about it? It happened. So
That's
what
so.
what are you
That's
gonna
so
do?
funny.
Like what are you gonna do about it? It happened. And I get in trouble a lot for straight talk, no chase, and motivation. But
Yeah.
honestly, that's what a ton of us need. Okay, so it happened. So what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna
I
sit? Are you gonna
totally. I
sit and
totally.
wallow? You know what I'm saying? Think about that though.
Yeah,
When,
I
when something
know.
happens, the first thing we want to do is crawl up into a fetal position, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's not growth. That's not gonna get you anywhere.
But that's
So what are you
because
gonna do
you.
about
But because that's because you have gone. You have. You're no longer in the human setup because
it? Thank you
I
for
understand
acknowledging
when you
that.
when well,
Thank you for acknowledging
I'm understanding exactly what you're saying because I got there where it happened
that.
and I lived my trauma every day. I lived with my mother in my mind every day,
Yeah,
even when
right,
I was an adult. And to come to a point to understand like she's enjoying her life somewhere else and me, I'm
right,
here suffering. How is it helping me? And so working with the trauma is also that thing to understand that it happened. It doesn't have to,
right,
I don't have to bring the trauma into to bring the past into my present because after all, I'm not living the present, I'm living the past. And But still, the same question is, why do we have to suffer? What is it? What's sake? Okay, I understood. Okay, I learned the lesson. So what? What am I supposed to do with those lessons? Why? There is this thing where people are saying today that every soul came here with a purpose to come and learn. You learn something. And at the same time, we are being told we're whole, God is within us, and we're part of it,
Right.
the source. And so if I know everything, why do I need to come to this world to suffer, to learn what, if I know everything? That's another question. That's a story for another day.
That's exactly. Let's
Yes,
talk about
that's right.
let's hover over purpose. Your purpose,
Yeah,
right? Think about this for a second.
yeah,
When I think of purpose and whatnot, I think that we're here to assist one another, right? I truly believe that. And as far as you and I, who would have thought that you'd be helping a partially paralyzed guy that you've known for years with nutrition? Because these podcasts, honestly, for me, got to tell you the truth, they're for me. I gained so much, a wealth of knowledge through you. Get where I'm going
wow.
with this? Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Every single thing on this healing journey for me, I'm learning from you. Everything nutrition, everything, things that I haven't even thought about.
Wow.
And I feel the results from the effect. Anything that I do that you actually suggest or just mention, or I'm reading something from you or checking out a video, it has helped me.
No, that's so funny. I really appreciate that. And I remember about a week ago, I was with someone. He was supposed to help me with a business. And as we talked, I mentioned some few things. And then the second appointment, when we met, he told me, "Oh, I started changing this and this. I considered doing this and this since you mentioned it."
Now you get my point. Do you get my point?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Exactly. And on another note, when you're doing stuff like that and you're meeting new people,
Yeah.
I would suggest a lot of your ideas you keep to yourself.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Keep them to yourself.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Keep them to yourself. So on to the next question, right?
yeah.
What is something you used to fear that doesn't scare you much now? Again, what is something that used to fear you doesn't
Yeah.
affect you now?
I have two things that I've feared in my life, and I haven't dealt with them completely. One is snake, and the other one is dog.
Did you say a dog?
Yeah.
Kobe, did you hear that? Did you hear Catherine say dog?
One. Let me explain. When I was young, now we are living in that farm. I will start with the snakes. We get into this land, and I'm an African kid. We are going to the farm. We are mowing the land, or sometimes I'm the one, I was the shepherd in the house. So I'm the one who's taking the livestock outside in the pasture. And I can tell you, Trent, there wasn't a single day that I couldn't meet a snake.
I
They
think
weren't,
we
they were,
talked about that a little bit.
and they weren't small, they weren't huge ones, but I was seeing snakes every day.
Wow.
Now, why is that a problem? It's not a problem if you're not Christian. I am going to church, and all I'm knowing Christians, devil is in a spirit of a snake.
Well, I tell you, that
Yeah,
Christian
and
thing is
so
something else.
the Christian thing, yeah. So I am here. I'm seeing snakes every day. So to me, I'm seeing devil every day. And I'm relating that with the relationship I'm having with my mother. And I'm like, I'm being punished for something.
Mm-hmm.
And so snake became a huge thing to me. And I can't tell you the relief. And I got to France and I heard there were no snakes. You know
Right.
what surprised me this summer? This summer I saw a snake and I freaked out. I was like,
Wow.
here? How come? Now, what changed is I no longer consider snake as an evil thing because I don't
Right.
think that for me I don't believe there is anything evil. The things
Right.
happen, circumstances happen, things happen, and I now consider that's another animal that is there and it has its right to
That's it.
live and
Yeah.
has nothing to do with me. The when I came to France, and even before my just before my daughter was born, I used to have nightmares
Mm-hmm.
with snakes and so much intense that it wasn't a nightmare. There was a time where I am in the phase of sleeping and not sleeping. I'm in bed and I can see the snake really crawling up in my bed. And I would try to scream, but I can't bring the scream out.
Right.
And I remember one day being there because there was time I had to look under the bed every night when I was sleeping. Like it was that real in my brain that the snakes, and sometimes I
Wow.
was living in the third floor and I would say it can come through the toilets. And I'm in France. I already know that there are no snakes.
Yeah.
And so this presence of snakes really scaring me. One day I was there and I know I'm not sleeping and I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm not quite awake and it's there. And I just say, this is in your mind, wake up and leave me. And I woke up and from that day, I never felt those things again.
So
About the dog,
go
when
ahead.
I say once again, where we were living in a wild place and a lot of people had dogs. And we didn't have dogs as petty animals. We had dogs to guard the house.
Oh.
So much
Hmm.
say we had dogs and other people had dogs as well.
Right. To guard the dog, to guard you from what?
we
Like
have
intruders or
we
just
we have
wild animals?
wild
Or,
animals, so we have the dogs. They can bark so that you take care of your livestock because you can have the
right.
lions coming to eat the of the
Two piece. Yeah.
or just
Yeah.
the elephants passing around. And we had this thing where people never used to tie their dogs or to keep them, to cage them. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like they are freeing. And when we could go to someone's house, you have to really stay some miles away and try to call someone to hold the dogs for you. Okay. One day I passed by a house, our neighbors, and them they had about 10 dogs. And I remember getting there, I'm tiptoeing,
Right.
thinking that, wishing that someone would see me before the dogs hear me or fear me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you the first dog barked. And I saw them coming. Don't laugh. I ran. I ran. The next thing I knew, the dogs were over me. One bit me on my butt. From that time,
Mm-hmm.
dogs and we became two. We also had a dog in the house. My father also brought a dog from, I think it was trained from a military dog. This dog could come in the house. It was in the house and no one could tell it stop. It was
Wow. Really.
just scaring. Like when we could leave the house, we didn't know how to get back without us being attacked by the dog itself. So
Wow.
yeah, so yeah,
Wow.
the dog for me it was an animal just like seeing a lion. And I sometimes see them
Right.
lion. Yeah, I never. It's and even today when I see people with the dogs, I get paralyzed. There's some kind races of dogs that now have come to understand they will not harm me,
Right.
but
Well,
those
it depends on what
German
type.
kind of.
Yeah,
The
it depends on
bulldogs
what
and that.
type of dog you have. Like Kobe. Kobe's a
Yeah,
Labradoodle. He's a
yeah.
mixture of Labrador Retriever and a
Mm.
Poodle.
Okay.
Very mild mannered, very cuddly, all that good stuff. So it depends on the dog.
Yeah,
Depends on
I
the dog.
guess it depends with the dogs, but we have had cases here where people just get attacked by dogs.
Mhm.
So
So let's talk
I'm
about
growing out of that.
there you go. Let's talk about setbacks and how you handle that, right? How do you handle setbacks or moments of doubt now?
The doubts, the
Yeah.
setbacks. I have never sat down to ask why me. I always get a problem and I'm focusing to how I'm going to solve the problem. So I am more of looking forward, not sitting down and crying. Yes, there is sometimes I'll cry. Why these things happening? Because once again, I'm a human being, but
Mhm.
I'm so much focused on, okay, this happened. So what can I do?
Okay. So with that being said, how do you measure your growth in yourself?
This is already a growth on itself because I'm speaking about my past.
So how do you
Uh,
measure it? How do you measure it? Say like,
the,
oh, today was a great day and I'm elevating. How do you measure
mm,
it? Or do you measure
do I even measure? No, I don't. I just realize that, okay, fine. I would say like, there were times I would break things, cups, and throw cups on the wall. There were times when someone would call me, I'd just, I'm not happy with what they're saying, and I'd hang up the phone. There was a time when my kids would just mess around and I would just go shouting. Today, I'm just, like, we have gotten to that place where my daughter will ask me, we learned this from a friend where they would come in the house and say, was your buffalo and what was your elephant? For example, what wrong went with you, or what can you say thank for? And I have gone to that place where I don't have anything that's bad I can say that is happening to me. I don't have bad thoughts.
it?
I don't meet people. I whenever I am living and I wake up every day, I say, I wish that every person that I'm going to encounter today can feel my energy, my positive energy. And this is not my energy, but the energy that is coming from above, that I am channeling whatever is coming from above. I am not me. So don't feel, I feel less human connected, I would say. So I don't feel, maybe because I avoid people also that avoid negative energies. Maybe I would get to that point where someone can trigger me. I don't know how I would react to it, but I know that I am more contented and I'm looking to make every person I meet outside to feel better.
Right. So
And
on
this
your
is something that,
journey,
yeah, sorry.
on your journey, do you
Hmm?
believe that you've finally gotten over the hump
Come
and
again?
going toward
Come
on
again?
your journey, on your
Yeah,
personal journey, do
yeah.
you feel that you've gotten over the
Over the whole.
hump, like over the
Ho-
hump, like the
hump.
obstacle?
Okay. Can you formulate that once again, please?
On your journey, do you
Yeah.
feel that you've gotten over your past
Ah,
trauma?
oh, okay. Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're measuring your growth,
Yes, I
right?
have.
So you're measuring your
Yeah,
growth.
that's what I say. That's already a growth I have, because I got to talk, not to my mother, but before she died, some years before she died, I asked for her to realize and for her to know, if it's that, no wisdom, but to let me live my life without her being a burden to me.
Mhm.
Um, when she passed away, before I used to write, I have always wanted to write my story as a story, a book. I really wanted to write a book
Mm-hmm.
to tell my story, because I believe there are a lot of people who would like to know that you can be born from ash, you can rebirth from ashes. And the day she died, I remember telling her, now you're free. Have a better life, whatever you're going to be, if you're going to reincarnate. I wish you can have love, maybe that you never got, and you can get to live a better life than you lived in this world.
So you're free to you let it go.
Yeah, I freed myself from that.
Yeah.
However, there is something that I haven't come to. I know there are people who say that you can encounter people who died, but I think it's a desire that I have, my soul has. I would never want to encounter her again in my life, be it here or be it above, if there is
Yes.
above, on the other side.
And with that being said, who or what inspires you to keep going?
My kids, my kids. These are all that I have. There is this parent that we don't talk about. It's my dad. My dad has been a very negative and very absent parent. So I would say I brought myself up being a lonely traveler in a family. So we were there, but I was alone. And so I grew up myself. And when I'm suffering and I can't speak to anyone, not even my uncles or my aunties. So I am a lonely traveler. And the only place where I found solace is with my kids. These are the only people that I feel I owe, and they make me whole.
Right. Gotcha. So another question would be: we're talking about healing and letting go now. This is where we'll close it off at. I got a few questions for you. Is there
Okay, go.
anything you're learning to let go of? Are you still learning to let go of
Yeah,
some
yeah,
things?
yeah, yeah. It's a learning journey. It's like I'm not like you. I haven't gone to the other side and see how it happens. So
Stop. Good stuff.
yeah, I'm still learning.
Thank you.
I'm still learning yeah, but trying to make myself less appear. I am no longer human. Like, I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up that life of comparison, looking at my brothers and my brother and my sister, and how maybe they have succeeded in many lives, how people I went to school with, and how but I have had my unique journey where I understand they didn't go through the same path that I
Right.
went. So I don't compare myself with anyone anymore. And I know I have a lot to learn and
Right.
to discover about myself as well.
Well, and give me an example of how you've been taking care of yourself emotionally.
More of physically or mentally?
More mentally than physically.
Sorry?
More mentally than physically.
To help myself, mostly I did a lot of podcast. I when I started to heal my
Mm-hmm.
trauma, um, do you know Dr. Wayne?
No.
He's the person that I listen to most. He's called Dio Wayne. Can't remember now his name properly. And I really consumed him. I would go out and I'd walk for hours, and I'm just having that podcast. His voice is so soothing. And what he is talking about is also the journey where you differentiate yourself from
Right.
what has happened to you and yourself. And so for what what I have helped me most is working into having that mind that is not negative. I was very suicidal. I remember there was a certain time in my life I didn't have tomorrow because tomorrow never existed to me because I had to die. Because I would program next week, 10 days from now, I'm going to suicide myself.
Right.
And
How did you get over that hump? Like, how
and
did you
every
get
time,
from
yeah, like
not wanting to harm yourself?
I didn't want to harm myself. I just wanted it to stop. I
You don't
didn't
think
tell you,
that?
there was a time my mother not sat down one day, she beat me up. Trent, she beat me out. Like I was swollen everywhere. In the evening, we are there. We had two people who are not in the family. That's my father's brother and another a man who was hired to help around with the animals and with the farm. My sister, brother, and I and my mother were in this house. I don't know if anyone can put an African setting kitchen. We are there. We had just had supper. I had been beaten the whole in the afternoon, and I had my name being called, and I'm there being told to come forward, and I'm shown things that I'm supposed to suicide myself. I'm supposed to kill myself, and everyone is seated there looking at me, and my mother is saying, "The only thing I want to see is your body tomorrow morning." I don't know how you have. She had hung a rope on the roof. I was supposed to tie myself up there.
Wait,
She
wait a minute.
had.
Wait. She
That's
she
true.
said this.
She's saying this, and we're seated there, and no one is moving. No one is saying anything, and I'm
Your
alone.
mother had mental issues. Yeah, I get it.
It's okay.
I get it. I get it. So
And
let's
let me just say, finding purpose to live and go beyond that. It was work.
okay.
Yeah.
And with that said, what moment or
Don't
decision?
don't don't cut it short for me. I'm okay.
You sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's part of life.
Yeah. So, what moment or decision changed everything for you to where you are now? What
Um,
moment, what decision changed everything for you?
I don't know. My life is just like it looks like I have several loads that I'm carrying. There is the diseased load, there is this mental stuff, and there is me living a human being like every other
Mm-hmm.
human being. So I would say, like, for my health, because now I guess everyone can understand that my my disease has its roots from this childhood.
Right.
And I started having my pain when I was 16 years old. When that's when I started having joint pain and I had eczema. Then it went away. I came to France. It came up because of the weather and everything. Then it went away. Then my son is 3 years old, and just like that, my body couldn't take anything. I had to go to the hospital. I was admitted in the hospital for almost a week.
Mm-hmm.
Blood test every day, being taken from one hospital to another. They'll try to find out what is it. That's when I got the rheumatoid arthritis. Now, that journey started there with the disease.
Mm-hmm.
What has made me become who I am is understanding that with the disease, it still may be there, but it doesn't affect my life the way it was
Right.
affecting me. I am here mentally someone who couldn't get much in school. My brain, I came to understand when I was doing the research, my brain, the hippocampus, when you have a lot of trauma, your brain doesn't process things normally. And I was very, very poor in school. And here I am, and I do work with scientific papers. So what has there's no one pinpointing apart from my disease where I had a lot of medications and nothing is working. And when my doctor, because I was doing blood tests all the time, started talking about the liver, it was like, yeah, we have to start taking like in the blood transminerals. We have to start checking on the liver. And from that point, I understood that the medicine has gone to a point where it's damaging my liver.
Right.
That's when I would sit down and I would like to take the medicine. I'm so much in pain and something telling me, don't take it. And so I quitted medication cold turkey. I wouldn't tell anyone to do that, but for me, I stopped it like that. I just stopped taking the medicine without anything that was going to help me. I didn't know what to do but to feel the pain. And funny enough, my daughter's dad had been diagnosed with cancer. And she's so young, and I'm there wondering if there is anything I can do to help her. I didn't know anything about nutrition, but I don't know why I was just like, is there anything? Well, how does someone live with cancer? What? And I fell in this side where the truth about cancer.
Right.
And I dived in. And I could watch and I could consume things. I think things then there was the internet, and I could watch the YouTube stuff. And I had discovered that people could use nutrition to overcome cancer, or maybe to alleviate, or something like that. Like you didn't have to go the medication way. For me, it was an aha moment. I was like, if you can cure cancer, there's
Right.
nothing else in the world you can cure. For me, cancer was the worst thing you could get. And it's from that point where I started saying, I can do something for myself. And I started now changing the diet, looking at how can I eat differently. And what really also helped me when I understood that having an autoimmune disease with all the medication I was taking, I was at a high risk of having a heart disease or dying of cancer, the one that I was also scared of. So
Right.
that really motivated me to just look life differently and look for what can work for me.
Right. So your immune disease springboarded you into nutrition. That's good.
Yeah.
That inspired you. Okay.
Yeah.
Last question. What do you hope to find or feel at the end of your journey?
That I have helped people. I believe I'm here to serve. I don't have personal accomplishments that I want to achieve in this life. I feel I want to help
Right.
a lot of people. It's not just about women. I feel so bad. Like now, I want to help kids. I have always said before I died, I keep on asking this because I would like to create a home for kids, homeless kids. Yeah, I feel I have so much that I want to do, but what I want to do has nothing to do with personal fulfillment. It's something that I want to give to others.
Right. So, what kind of life are you building now?
What kind of life I am?
What kind of
Sorry?
life are you building now?
The life that, if I can help women realize that they have their health in their hands, that it's not because you're told you have incurable disease that you have to buy into it.
Mm-hmm.
You might have an incurable disease because maybe it's genetic. There's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
But there's so much that we can do about our health. And that's what I really want to communicate to people, and especially women. I also want that every woman to know that it's not right to go through some adversities. And so it's better to speak out. It's good to have self love, to love.
Absolutely.
Loving myself was one of the beautiful things that it could happen to me, because as I grew up, I was looking for love from everyone. Every woman I used to meet, I used to say, I wish she was my mother.
Right.
My mother was alive, but she wasn't my mother, because for what she was doing to me, she wasn't my mother. A woman wouldn't do that. A mother wouldn't do that. And for me, I grew up looking into my auntie's eyes and I say, I wish she was my mother. I am going out and see a nice woman or a woman, I would say, I wish she was my. I used to look for my mother everywhere. And then I grew up and I have this kind of, I don't like women as much because of the way my mother did to me. And I feel like men are the best people who can give me love, but men give love with something else.
Yeah.
They profit. And so loving myself has been the most wonderful thing. And I would say if every person who has gone difficulties in life can come back home and find love within.
Good. 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 And that's what we'll end this Catherine's journey as far as the interview goes. It's quite interesting and emotional at the same time, but you did great. You did great on your journey to healing. I believe that the journey never stops; it only continues. It
I
only
believe so.
continues.
I
Yeah.
believe so, but I don't want to suffer. I've called the heavens and said, if this, I don't want to suffer anymore. If I have had my piece of pain.
You know, when we talk about suffering, I believe that on our journeys, it's all about the obstacle of getting over ourselves. We're the obstacle. You get what I'm saying?
Mm,
We're the obstacle. So it's all about getting over the hump of yourself to continue on the journey and get to where you need to be. You know, once I mastered myself,
yeah,
everything came to me. I became a magnet.
beautiful, beautiful.
But you have to master yourself, and I think you're doing a
How
great
do you
job
how do you master yourself?
by centering yourself and calming that little person in your mind that's telling you all these things that to drive you away from peace. So once you quiet that little monster in your head,
Yeah,
everything takes place. And that little monster is yourself. You know what I'm saying? Once
get
I
it.
quiet that monster in my head,
Yeah,
I was able to conquer everything I need to conquer.
I think it's something that I've seen because I can relate with what you're saying, because as I said, my brain used to be wild. Like
Right. Yeah.
I
And once
used
we,
to be,
that takes a skill, man, to quiet that
yeah,
mind.
yeah, too
It
quiet.
takes a
Yeah,
skill. Yeah. Once you
mm,
quiet that mind, man, everything is good. Everything.
mm, yeah,
So that's what I meant when I said getting over the hump of yourself.
yeah. Get it, get it.
You know. So, but I think you're doing a great job, man. I think you're doing a great job. I think that your purpose is now. Just have to open your eyes because you're very knowledgeable on this nutrition. I'm here. I'm only pushing buttons. I'm I'm not
Thank
feeding. I'm
you.
not giving information to people. I have no I have no idea what you be talking about most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the times I'm taking notes. So most of the time I'm sitting in the audience as well. Just
Wow.
I just happen to be on camera with
Okay. Get it.
you. Yeah.
Get it. Get it.
So you good? You good? You good? You
Yeah.
good?
Yeah. I'm good.
It was a bit emotional. So that's good though. But I think this was more for you and more for people to get to know you because we do podcasts weekly on
Mm,
nutrition and people want to know like who are you, where you come from, your journey, whatnot,
yeah.
and everyone's human. Everyone has something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some luggages are too heavy for some people. I think
Yeah.
I don't know whether
Everyone has
it's
something.
ever. Everyone has something. I wish we didn't have to, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And
maybe
that's
that.
honestly that's what makes me so transparent.
Yeah,
Like a lot of folks always ask me like, man, you had a lot of nerve, turn that camera on and knowing what your condition is. I'm like, man, everybody have something.
yeah. Everyone has someone. Yeah,
You know what I'm
something to
saying?
say. Yeah, I
Yeah,
I totally agree with that. Someone.
yeah.
I used to
Everybody has
compare
something,
myself
man.
a lot. I used to compare myself a lot, and
Compare yourself to
the
people, other people.
to people.
Mm,
They like. I won't say it's because you lack love, you feel like you feel
right.
emptiness, you feel the emptiness inside. And
Yeah.
I used to find myself so ugly. Like, I used to say, there's
Right.
nothing ugly in this world like me.
Wow.
And as
Wow.
every woman I would meet, I was like, wow, they're
Mm,
so beautiful. And I'm an adult when I'm saying that. I'm here in France. I don't say, look
exactly.
at women. I was like, wow, they're so beautiful. And I'm
Anything. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Anything melanated is very beautiful.
everyone
Anything
is
melanated
everyone is beautiful, but there is that.
Anything melanated, I'm sorry, this is what we'll debate again. Anything melanated is
uh,
extravagant, beautiful, beyond anyone's comprehension. But
yeah, that
I
you
think
have two shadows.
yeah,
The
I think
the
we find ourselves